Welcome back. It's the big board. It's the American Civil War big board session. Not really a session more, and it's not really a shrink rip because we're going to talk about other products other than the products that I have in front of me. We're going to do a little bit of comparative stuff and talk about some upcoming games as well. But I wanted to let you know that Revolution Games does indeed have a sale on. And of course, if I had paid attention to how long that sale runs for, I would be able to tell you, but you could go to revolutiongames.com and check it out yourself. I have been waiting for an opportunity to pick up boxed editions of some of their games, and my intention is that with most of them, I will buy the boxed games, and then where they only come in Ziploc, like Thunder of in the Ozarks and Stonewall Sword, I will just store them in here. So I picked up two of the boxed versions, Longstreet Attacks, which is an older game. And these are all obviously by Herman Luttman, if you didn't know. And if they're not by Herman Luttman, they're using Herman Luttman's system. So before I get people, excuse me, correcting me, because The Day Was Ours is a brand new title that's just been released using the system, but it's a volume 6 in the blind. I think it's called Blind Swords. I forget what it's called. I've only played this system, well, technically twice, because I played the Tiny Battles version, Gettysburg game, which was just one segment. I forget what that was called. The Devils to Pay, I believe it was. And I have also played one other battle, Kernstown, I believe, with a buddy of mine. Really enjoyed it, enjoyed the chip pull mechanics. So what I thought I might do is just let's have a quick look at the components in the game. Let's have a look at the designer notes and maybe a little bit of the historical background, because I'm not a huge ACW nerd, although I do enjoy the great campaigns of the American Civil War. I'm still yet to really find my groove for a preferred ACW system, and I think this is probably the most approachable yet somewhat detailed representation of the American Civil War tactical scale scenarios and things like that I've come across. I found great battles of the American Civil War just a little too laborious, I think is the word. I guess I had the expectation that it was going to be the great battles of history with muskets and rifles and things like that, and it's not. So the command rules and some of the obscure scenario rules really kind of threw me off and kind of basically left a bad taste in my mouth. I've got the entire 10 scenario Death Valley still all unpunched. I've played 2 different scenarios on Vassal, and we abandoned play for both of them. One of them, which we started twice. So shame on me, I guess, and my buddy for not getting it done. But we gave up. And he had played before as well. He played the 3 days of Gettysburg, the larger campaign, I guess. So anyway, so line of battle, I own that. I have not dug into that in much detail yet. I have played the P Ridge battle from Compass Games, the Battle Hymn system. That was a little too abstract for me. I could see me doing goofy things that didn't really make sense. Nevertheless, we've got this system out here. Let's have a look. So this is a brand new module. I thought we'd have a look at this one in total, just because it might be interesting for folks. Let's have a look at the map. And of course, we'll talk about the map artist and all the rest of it in a minute. But you can see it's pretty vibrant color palette, right? These are Rick Barber maps, right? So you're not going to see these anymore. Lots of terrain going on here. You've got your high ground, your little valleys and woods and streams and roads, and it's got a really nice vibe to it. I really, really like it. a lot. And there's the bull run here. So anyway, and I don't know too much about this battle, so I can't really talk to the details very much, but I thought we'd have a quick look. Here we have the turn record charts, the victory point track. Obviously, lets units break. Oh, that's clever. I guess that was if you bought the Ziploc version. I like that artwork there. Okay, so like all the games, I believe they all have this concept of playing these chits that you're allowed to pick a certain number per turn to play. Give you some thematic access, and also allows for it prevents you having to have a whole bunch of special rules too, which is kind of cool. I know that's hard to see with the glare. Sorry about that. All right. My red light is flashing at me on the camera. Not sure what that's for. Cohesion test tables and the terrain key. And it looks like there's 2 copies of everything for everybody. And on the other side will be the combat results chart. Yep, which is all pretty self-explanatory down here. You have your weapon platform types, your ranges, combat shifts for close combat, fire combats. The Union unique events, which will be somewhat similar but slightly different. And exclusive rules, the Blind Sword, yeah, it is Blind Swords. Blind Sword series rules as well. And then you've got your counters, which are upside down and back to front. So we can dig in on those. See everything by which state they're from. Pretty straightforward details on the counters. A combat factor and a movement factor, I believe, is what they are. Potentially, I forget. Too many systems in my head. Let me just check. No, cohesion rating. There you go. I wasn't certain that it was the movement rating, but I was. That's why I thought we'd check. So you've got 12, maybe 14, 15 pages of rules that are pretty well spaced out and outlined here. And then you've got Matt Waters, the designer for this guy, obviously. It's interesting they don't give any credit to Herman here. I would have thought they would, given that it's his system design. Nevertheless, custom, these rules are all in full color, as you can see. Very nice. So they'll be exclusive to this particular battle. So it'll be interesting to see what the differences are there. And that's that, right? So, I mean, a really nice package, reasonably priced. Revolution does a nice job in its production. They seem to be very consistent here, especially of late. These are 5/8 inch counters by the looks of it. When you get a dinky die, you can probably throw that guy away. And then, so, there's that, right? And now the others are going to be a similar format. I told you, I said I would look at the designer notes. I guess we should probably do that real quick. So we can see what these are all about here, if there are any. I don't know if there are. Doesn't look like. Well, what do you know? There are not. Seriously? Just an introduction. No designer notes. Then maybe they'll be in one of the other modules here. I guess I was expecting that there would be more conversation about, about the system. About the actual battle. So the day was ours as a game simulating the fighting on July 21st. There you go, first bull run. And that's it. So I think all of you know it's a chip pool game as well. So I don't really need to go into too much detail on that. But Well, okay, so it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to give you a little historical overview. We'll just have to rely on what's on the back of the box. There you go. I'm not going to read this. You can pause the video and have a look at it yourselves. I'll give you a chance to do that, and I'm going to move on. All right. Longstreet. And you'll see a similar format, right? Player aids for each side, the combat results table, which will be identical. Then here we've got, now given that this is part of the Gettysburg exercise, you're going to find probably more substantial rules. Yes, so we're well into 32 pages here with scenario setups and all the rest of it. All right, and then multiple counter sheets. So there were 2 counter sheets there, two dinky die, and then this will be still a 1 mapper. Instead, carefully opening the map so it doesn't tear it. Now, let's see if I can actually get this. So yeah, this is going to have the round top and all that. I don't know if you can see that without the glare. I'll hold the camera up for you. So here we've got big round top, little round top. Devil's Den will be down here somewhere. Whoops, and now my camera has just decided to poop itself. The stand, I should say. All right. Once again, really nice maps. Really nice maps. So you can see that. And then here's what will be interesting to compare is when we get Herman Luttman's, I'll call it mini monster or monster full battle of Gettysburg game, playing that and then picking up these smaller battles and seeing how they play out. His release of the Gettysburg game is coming from Tiny Battles. They just did the Kickstarter. I think it was pretty successful. And I think it's suffering like everybody else with some shipping delays. So Stonewall Sword, Cedar Mountain. Similar again with the charts. This is going to be, now these, I noticed that these are different format now. There's both these volumes have had just the rule book with the exclusive rules built into it. So that's probably what's pumping up the volume here, 24 pages, 32 pages, whereas the series rules are really only 16 pages long if we compare it, if we look at in volume 6 in The Day Was Ours, right? So there's that. 1 counter sheet. Be interesting to see the differences in unit capability over the course of the war for both sides when we look at these different battles, because this is set in, I don't know. It doesn't have a date on it. How about that? When was Cedar Mountain? Who knows? Someone told me. If we had a live stream, I could tell you. We could find out. Nevertheless, I don't know the date, so that's bad for me. Scenario designer notes. Here we go. I think it's going to be more about the actual design of the game. Yeah. Nevertheless, ACW aficionados will know when this battle took place. I'll show you the map real quick. Now, this is a smaller map. Smaller battle. Try and hold the camera steady for you. In fact, the layout looks a little bit similar in setup, except for the orchard here, Kernstown. So once again, great artwork. A little more muted in the colors on that one, I thought. Now, this particular one, I'm probably gonna try this guy first because it's P Ridge, and I just played the Battle of P Ridge. So this will be the first one we'll get stuck into so that I can do some sort of comparison. Let's have a look at the difference in the maps for a start. Let's see if I can find my way around. Trying to remember. Now it's a much smaller format than the original. Sorry, than the Battle Hymn version. So there's Leetown. I recall that. This might be a smaller representation of the battle, although this all looks familiar where forces came in either, in the Battle Hymn system, there's literally another map off to the right over here that talks and walks through. I'll let you have the forces that were over here. That's right, there's this Ruddick farmhouse or whatever it is. And then you have Confederate forces setting up here. I brought some down, tried to get across this stream and through this tough terrain. Morgan's Woods, not a good idea. Brought the rest down this road, and then we had a pretty aggressive combat and very quickly took Leetown. So I wasn't sure I was playing 100% correctly. I didn't do a whole lot of video or write-up on the gameplay, just because it was a little flat for me. And I think there's probably more to the game, but I became a little impatient with it all. There's a lot of cavalry for the Confederates, I believe, appear over here or enter on this side of the map. So anyway, we'll dig into all that in a little bit in the next week or two, if I can get to it before Sacred Oil shows up. That's just a one mapper and one counter sheet, and we'll take a look at it. All right, that's a quick look at all the American Civil War stuff that has come in today. So a nice little surprise today. Very pleased with the pricing on the sale as well. Not sure. Oh wait, second map. Look at me. So here's the rest of it. There we go. There's the Elkhorn Tavern. That's where the Union tried to hold when I played, and then they were circumvented, or it was the other way around. I forget. But anyway, so that goes here, and this goes here. I was going to say it looked like it was a little cut off. So this goes like this here. There you go. That makes more sense now. Look at that dense terrain. So different from the Napoleonic era, right? All right, folks, I'll let you go.